A Where's the Money investigation found the three largest public universities in North Carolina spent a combined $5 million testing student athletes for COVID-19 last school year. UNC Charlotte's Nate Morabito discovered the added expense proved costly at a time when games were canceled and athletic departments lost money.
Records show UNC Charlotte alone spent more than $1 million on thousands of COVID tests for student athletes, almost as much in federal pandemic aid as the university spent improving technology for virtual learning. Take one look at last year's football schedule.
Tough news for the Charlotte 49ers.
And you'll see the same story played out.
The rules are the rules. We have to follow those protocols.
Week after week for UNC Charlotte.
They will not play at North Carolina on Saturday.
COVID cost the 49ers half of their games and $2.2 million in lost revenue.
It was something that we did feel.
Win, lose, or stay home, the testing bill, meanwhile, kept going up. Public records show UNC Charlotte spent more than $1 million on COVID tests last school year, ranging in price from $60 to $95 apiece.
You know, substantial hit, but it is something, again, if we want to compete and the institution made a decision we're going to compete, it was a necessary thing to do.
Deputy Athletic Director Darren Spees says the university followed Conference USA and the NCAA's testing rules, which required up to 3 tests a week for every athlete for some sports. University records show federal pandemic dollars helped cover the added costs.
It is certainly something on a year-to-year basis we wouldn't be able to sustain long-term, but we were able to get through this year without really having to change a lot about what we did.
UNC Chapel Hill's athletic department felt a similar testing expense in the fall and spring, $1.2 million, but not nearly as much as at nearby NC State. The largest public university in the state spent a reported $2.8 million on athletic COVID testing.
This is an added cost that I think people don't really talk about that obviously was there.
Dr. Patrick Risch is the sports business program director at Washington University in St. Louis. He's also a UNC Charlotte alum.
It is absolutely a cost of doing business. Ultimately, we've got to keep people safe.
The sports business expert says these dollar figures are just another example of how COVID-19 shots could benefit the public.
If people are vaccinated, you can reduce the cost and the stress upon the university from having to pay for COVID-19 testing.
Back at UNC Charlotte, the hope is 2021-2022 will play out much different, both on the field and in the check register.
It'll be different this year in a good way.
Spees says about 75% of student athletes are vaccinated, which means based on current protocols, only the remaining 25% will need weekly COVID tests, and only 1 per athlete, not 3. With continued COVID costs, Dr. Risch thinks universities need to find creative ways to make more money in this new pandemic world. His suggestion? They should consider following the lead of pro sports and start allowing advertising on uniforms. Nate Morabito, WCNC Charlotte.
An eye-opening report there by Nate. Thanks for that.